electrical home appliances, steel, textiles, real estates, and many more. Sir, we are very happy to have you with us. Next, we have another panelist with us who is Dr. Charu Khosla, an environmentalist and is presently an Assistant Dean, Office of International Affairs at Chitkara University, Punjab. She has received numerous awards, accolades as a result of her work as a scientist. Being a women-led entrepreneur, she has her own well-researched innovation, BB Urja, focused on the conversion of agro waste into clean and green fuel with smokeless chulas. She had won the highly prestigious Crenupure Award 2021 by Startup Punjab and Department of Industries and Commerce with Energy Management. She will award 2021 for being the influential woman of Punjab State, runners-up for HRH Princess Mahachakri Sustainable Award in 2020. And the list goes on and on. Ma'am, we are very, very happy to have you with us. And she is also instrumental in writing research and equipment grant proposals and has also focused on the role of 3R approach. Dr. Charu, I must compliment you for your incredible achievements, and we're very, very happy to have such a learned panel with us today. And to apprise you all, keeping the time limit in mind, we would be asking about 2 to 3 questions per panel member. To begin with, am I audible to all of you?
Absolutely.
All right, thank you. So to begin with, first question goes to Ms. Neela. Ma'am, please share the historic significance of Earth Day and what all initiatives have taken place so far via the international movement. Can you please throw some light on it?
Sure. As you mentioned, April 22nd every year marks the anniversary of the birth of the modern environmental movement, which started in 1970. April 22nd, as you mentioned, Senator Gaylord Nelson, who was very concerned that nobody was actually protesting against all the environmental degradation, whereas there was this whole anti-war student movement that was happening. He decided to plug into that and use the energy and the passion of the students to create awareness that public health and pollution are inextricably linked. And what people thought in those days that the factories belching fumes was actually the smell of prosperity was actually not so. So you have to remember that this is back in the 50s to the 70s in America, where they had those huge cars, and it was all about consumerism and no real thought going into the environment and why it is so important. And then, of course, Rachel Carson published her book, which immediately hit the New York bestseller list and was republished in some 24 countries. And a lot of people started talking about the environmental movement. So Senator Gaylord Nelson started this movement. And why I want to mention Dennis Hayes, his second in command, was a young Harvard student at that time. And of course, this was much before internet, etc. So young Dennis Hayes had to go across the length and breadth of the country to all the colleges and the schools to start these protests or sit-ins. And of course, it really created a whole movement as the NGOs and other protesters for environmental action got on board. And it was after the first Earth Day was commemorated all across America that the Environmental Protection Act, the Clean Air Act, and other legislations started happening in America. You mentioned that in 1990, Earth Day was taken global. And now we say that it is the largest civic observance in the world, with more than 1 billion people commemorating Earth Day. Each year, our theme is a different topic. We've had themes such as protect our species, end plastic pollution, take climate action. And for the last 2 years, the theme has been invest in our planet, because we believe that it is only when everyone is accounted for and accountable, whether you're government, whether you're NGOs, academic institutions, individuals, corporates, everyone has to do their bit. And it could be something very simple, such as the various shapes of green. There are 52 or 53 of them that are already up on our Earth Day website, which is earthday.org, as to what you can do. But we really want everybody to take action, whether it is planting trees, whether it is doing a cleanup drive, whether it is promoting sustainable fashion, whether it is voting Earth, which is basically to create civic engagement amongst people so that we can speak to our leaders and tell them that, yes, they really have to join the environmental movement and the time to act is now. So these are some of the various topics that we work with. You said that I was director education. So I really am promoting the need for climate literacy, which will eventually lead to all the green jobs that are opening up right now. At the last COP in Sharm el-Sheikh, we are the first ever climate education hub where we partnered with various organizations and we had a lot of youth take part in the hub and interact. There were a lot of very interesting panel discussions. Even now we're commemorating Earth Week. So I invite everyone to get onto our social media pages and our websites where there are more such panel discussions talking about Earth Day and the importance of Earth Day. So do log on to those. If you like, I can put in the chat all the various links to these.
Yes, thank you so much, ma'am. I really appreciate the great work that you're doing. And, as you said that you are into education, it's very important for us to educate, having some literacy program, inculcating in right into our education system so that, we educate students, children right from a younger age so that it is ingrained in them. And that's how we can bring in a positive change. And, and of course, as you talk about the green jobs that you're offering, I think it's really a great opportunity for placements also for our students, ma'am. Thank you so much. We now come to the next question. I would request direct this question to Mr. Bhavesh. So, sir, in the situation is very much similar everywhere across the globe. US cities are gasping for air, a good environment. Maybe India and subcontinents are standing at the same junction. So how do you see or correlate the movement that started 50 years ago? And where are we standing today, especially in the local context?
Quite an insightful question. And first and foremost, thanks to all the people, all the student fraternity who have joined and people behind organizing this, Wani Parvez and all the people, Neela Majumdarji. Ma'am, quite important. Just imagine 50 years ago, we were again standing at the very same junction, whether it was New York City, whether it's California, whether it's other parts of US, all had more or less the same problems that we as developing world are facing now. But these people stood up, essentially the student community. They made it a movement. Yeah. And the movement was such that it reached to the highest authority possible. The presidents were discussing what this Earth movement is all about. That's the power of youth. That's the power of students who have joined out here. We don't need protest. We need advocacy. We need to see ways and means owing to which we can bring about those meaningful changes. Good part, there are enough resources available. There are enough literatures. There are enough things available how students can be part of this change. And probably our leadership is giving a great eye to these kind of solutions, these kind of insights which our student fraternity is bringing about. I'm pretty sure Neelaji would be discussing more how we can join hands with Earth Day, with Chitkara Education Fraternity, with people like Hitesh Gulati, who are doing some incredible work, and all of you can mentor us, can guide us as to what's the best way forward. Earlier, it was 50 years ago. Today is the second time when we can revitalize the entire debate again. How to make our cities, how to make our villages more livable. We need to learn from these developing worlds and probably implement in times to come on our part.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. As you said, youth can actually bring in a lot of difference, and, having the right people in the leadership also to handhold and having the same mindset and the same vision will definitely, prove beneficial to bring in a positive change towards environment. Thank you so much for answering this question, sir. Next, we move on to the other panel. Ms. Dr. Charu Khosla, ma'am, we would like to ask you, environment education matters. So how do you see taking it shape the student community? How innovatively you or Chitkara University is doing it, ma'am, implementing the environment education?
Okay, thank you for the question. Yes, of course, being an environmentalist, if I would say that this matter is very much close to my heart, whether it is with everyone over here, but very much close to my heart, we all know that education forms the basis of everything in today's world. And if I could talk about environment, yes, environmental education, this is the need of the hour, which help people understand the various repercussions caused by the overexploitation and act accordingly. I would always say there's a link. We always use the term man and the environment. Man and environment, that link is still going on. Now the man is on a different role. And this is what every youth needs to understand, thanks to our UGC, the higher education body, which has made this subject as one of the compulsory subject and has introduced it at the university level. Now, no undergraduate student can have their degree if they are not able to clear this environmental education paper. So this was a challenge. When I used to take the classes, this was a challenge for me, because when I used to go to the classroom, the four-walled area, students sitting over there, they will always ask, ma'am, why we are studying? We know environment क्या है, हमें पता है आसमान है, जमीन है, धरती है, ये सब कुछ है, ये सबको सब कुछ पता है. Then I asked them why we keep ourselves blindfolded, why we don't understand what exactly the environment means to us. So we are putting up a kind of a label onto our eyes, which we are not able to understand. And that is why the UGC has made it compulsory to understand each and every subject. So that challenge leads me. For many years, we were into that conventional mode of study, that from the books, we used to make them understand each and every topic. Now, there is one thing more I would like to add on is that UGC had made a universal curriculum, which is there in every other university all across the India. So I thought that why not make it into the innovative way. So taking them in from the four-walled classroom area, I created the online thing, which was onto the Google Classroom. I made them to study the things onto their own. The self-study can be there, and let us discuss it, the topics, the questionnaire into the classroom. And that became, the things became more interesting and interesting. Then we added on, came up with the live case studies. That students, you are made to sit in a group, you must understand what all the case studies, what all has been happened, what all has been brought up by various environmentalists across. We might be knowing it, we might not be knowing it. So to understand that, we need to make it clear. So that case study helped a lot to us. That was where the people, the students came to know that how the things can be taken up. And I think by studying this, still I would say out of the whole class, maybe the 10%, maybe the 12%, or maybe a little more than that, will able to understand and apply this knowledge. We all know, again, I'm coming up to that question, that we all know what all the resources are there, but we are not seeing, we are not understanding how to utilize them. So with this very knowledge, if a student will be gaining, maybe of any curriculum, maybe of any faculty, they might be, maybe engineer, maybe a management, maybe architecture, maybe from education background, a student will be able to apply it back as in a sustainability mode. Because sustainable term is the new term which everybody needs to adopt, which everybody needs to eat it like our the daily food. Sustainability is more like a collective process. If I'll be understanding the knowledge, I think I'll be able to go in for effective use of resources. I'll able to go in for designing the product in such a way. If I'm an engineer, I'll able to design the product in that way that the elimination of the waste from that very product will be lesser and lesser. As one has said during my introduction, that I do always focus onto the 3R approach. And yes, of course, that is there. If people will also start adopting that 3R approach of reduce, reuse, and recycle, I think the sustainability will be justified with every individual, with every masses. And they'll able to understand what other material alternatives they can come up with, which will help reduce the CO2 emissions. I think with all the mentors, more and more knowledge can be shared through this very platform. This is what I need to add on over here at present. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Great initiatives you're working, educating the student fraternity and, bringing in the positive change. And we're also glad to share that recently, Chikara University's 4 campuses have been awarded the platinum rating by the Climate Neutrality Project in India and South Asia. And that's a big, big achievement. And thank you so much, the Climate Neutrality Project India and South Asia. Thank you very much. Next, moving on to Mr. Hitesh Gulati. Sir, I would like to ask you, what are the green HR factors and how it can be introduced effectively in HR practices for any organization?
So thank you so much, Dr. Vani, for putting me this question, which is related to my core field, HR. And again, as Bhavesh ji is here, my mentor in doing the climate, you can say the Green Campus program as well as the Climate Reality Leadership program. So Bhavesh sir, so with this I have a good combination of climate as well as HR, both the things. So a good question related to my field. And when I talk about this, let's talk about brief about what is green human resource management. So basically green human resource management is defined as a set of policies, practices and systems that stimulates the green conduct of an organization's employee in order to create an environmentally sensitive, resource competent and socially responsible organization. And as you have asked the question about the green HR factors and how it can be introduced effectively in HR practices of any organization, I'll while answering this question, I'll talk about the HR policy of any organization. So the HR policy of any organization is generally divided into 4 divisions, or you can say it is based on 4 different pillars. Pillar 1 is about employing staff. Pillar 2 is about managing employee performance. And pillar 3 is about dealing with employee concerns. Whereas pillar 4 is about supporting our staff in the workplace. So I'll unfold 3 pillars because here 3 pillars can have different policies related to green HRM. So let's unfold a brief about all 3 pillars to work on. So pillar 1 is employing staff. So whenever we employ any particular staff, generally we need to work on 4 policies here in order to bring in green HRM. First is recruitment and selection. So if I talk about recruitment and selection, the competency metrics and interview assessment forms, which comprises of functional skills, behavioral skills and cultural fitment skills, that should include values pertaining to green initiatives in cultural fitment. Second should be induction and orientation program. So induction and orientation program of that particular organization should sensitize about the green values, initiatives and philosophies of the organization and its future green projects. Third thing we need to work on is the standards of business conduct while we work on pillar 1. So we need to inculcate green conduct apart from law practices, disciplinary practices, business practices and ethical conduct. And talking about the 4th policy in pillar 1, which is leaves and holidays. So green leaves should be introduced as gift leaves by the organization for the individuals contributing towards green initiatives fulfillment as per the criteria laid by the organization. Pillar 2 should work on 2 policies. That means we have to change 2 policies here. First is the learning and development. So the learning and development calendar should be designing training programs which is comprising of functional skills, behavioral skills, and values pertaining to green initiatives, which should become a part of the cultural fitment skills. And second is performance management. It should have evaluation of green initiatives followed by the individual apart from the functional skills and behavioral skills, followed by developmental plans of the individuals in the same. And lastly, coming to the 3rd pillar, which is supporting our staff in the workplace. If some individual has taken initiatives in those areas which were mentioned in the policies, there should be something called as rewards and recognition. So we need to work on reward and recognition here to appreciate the efforts and outcomes of the individual by felicitating them to raise the bar of the organization in green initiatives towards climate conservation. I hope I have answered your question, Dr. Vani.
Absolutely, sir. And it is such an amazing, wonderful initiatives and wonderful ideas that you've put in. because I think it's really important for every organization to incorporate, the awareness and making it as a part of their policy for the environment. And if organizations are having that top to bottom approach, and everybody is going to follow. And very interestingly, as you talked about green leaves, we've not heard about it, and this is something which is really nice. And let them have those leaves to go and work for the environment. Because generally people are busy with their work, and if the organization itself is giving them the leaves, and then in a way they are going to contribute to the environment. So this is very interesting, and having those policies on learning and development and training them, implementing these things. This is really initiative, and followed by the rewards and recognition, as you mentioned. So wonderful insight shared by you. Thank you so much. Next, we move on to Miss Neela, ma'am. Ma'am, your organization, ma'am, are you able to hear me?
Yes.
All right, ma'am. So, ma'am, your organization has come a long way in the Indian subcontinent. So, please share some of the projects currently being undertaken by the Earth Day Network.
Yes, so we work on a number of focal areas that even Hitesh mentioned and Dr. Charu mentioned. Mine is, of course, climate literacy. And I just put up our links to our ebooks. One is actually ways students have come up with to be more environmental friendly, eco-friendly in their campuses, in their communities, in their homes. So do have a look at that. And then there's another one that is ways academic institutions invest in our planet. So how academic institutions such as yours, which you already mentioned is a green campus, can do so much, whether it is through energy efficiency, whether it is through composting, or whether it is through waste management. There's so much that everyone can do, and every act counts, which is why we say that we all need to invest in our planet, because investing in our planet is basically investing in ourselves. No act is too small. We're doing a lot of what we call the Great Global Cleanups, which is cleanliness drives. Basically taking climate education to climate literacy is where we take youth and others towards taking action, for the environment. It's one thing to know about climate change, which is, basically all the anthropogenic actions that are causing all these climate crises, and, and how we can actually make solutions, take solutions in our daily lives. So the Great Global Canopy, the Great Global Cleanup action is like the Swachh Bharat Mission. It's basically going out right now and cleaning up our riverbanks, our lakes. So there are a whole lot of cleanup drives happening right now. The Canopy project is another one where we plant a lot of trees. We recently planted more than 1 million mangroves in the Sundarbans, which is close to where I am in Calcutta. So these are some of the action points that we take. We really believe in restoring our earth, whether it is water management, whether it is, reducing wastage of natural resources. Another program that we're doing with college students, I don't know whether the Chitkara University has registered for it, but it is the Young Earthpreneurs Awards, which last year was on green solutions in the green economy. This year's one is basically on sustainable fashion. So we ask everyone to come up with their solutions in sustainable fashion, whether it is using natural textiles, or whether it is even coming up with an electronic marketplace which only sells sustainable products. So these are ways that we are trying to inspire youth to be part of the green economy, to start thinking in sustainable solutions. You mentioned all the small contests that I run. The green environmental monitors is something that happens in schools. Just like you have a classroom monitor, you can have a green environmental monitor who will make sure that the lights and fans are switched off, that asks the school or college to, basically switch to solar energy, have rainwater harvesting, for example. So these are just small actions that even students can take to be part of the environmental movement. So yeah, from our global projects to, local, national, global, everybody needs to get on board the environmental movement and
Yes,
make a
ma'am.
change.
Absolutely,
Thank you.
doing some wonderful job, ma'am. And as you said, young entrepreneurship, the sustainable fashion that you're talking about. I request you if you can just share the link with us also and educate us also, so that we can also spread it across our university as well as school, ma'am. And ma'am, do you also do some work in Punjab, ma'am, in the north that you're doing about these projects that you're talking about?
So we're happy to interact with you all.
Yes.
In Maharashtra, for example, we've started the Star Campus Awards, where we are going to be ranking the college campuses according to how green they are. So this was a pilot project this year. We'll probably be taking it nationally. So you all can register for that as well.
Sure, ma'am.
Yeah, so a lot of exciting things. I've put in all our social media handles. Most of our activities are put up on that. So do keep liking and sharing what's on our Instagram pages and on our Facebook pages.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much, ma'am. All right, thank you. And next we move to Mr. Bhavesh Swami. Sir, you also represent an organization, the Climate Neutrality Project India and South Asia, that is at the forefront of climate change information and knowledge dissemination. In India, you're doing some practical projects as well. So please help our audience learn more about your organization and the amazing work that you're doing.
Yeah. Thanks, ma'am. Thanks indeed, and quite important question. So as we discuss the very student, the industry and academia gap, how it can be bridged. We are seeing a lot of literature, but when it comes to the practical translation of it, that's where organizations like Earth Day partner to us, as well as organizations like us, the Climate Reality Project, are working hand in hand with foresight organizations like yours, in this case, Chitkara University, where we were able to implement the Green Campus program within no time. Now, how it all happened? Your management was interested in that, and then we took the initiative in terms of training the teachers out there. Teachers became our hand-holding, say, principles out there in terms of taking things forward. And it was students who were working under your guidance in terms of implementation. What happened? These students came to know what renewable energy, clean energy, water management, waste management, biodiversity enhancement, all these aspects are about. We speak of climate change, but then climate change becomes a wider topic. I'm not able to concentrate, or I'm not able to drive down the smaller parts of it. Then it sees, यार मुझसे क्या हो पाएगा? Climate change is something which wider world needs to understand, introspect, and probably find solutions. No, pick up the line, pick up the elements that you are comfortable in. People coming from rural background probably understand water management better. They are doing day in, day out at their fields. Someone coming in the city landscape is probably an expert on air management. Someone is doing biodiversity. So those are the niche areas that we ask these students in terms of taking them along under guidance of teachers like you, who themselves have become expert on these things. And that's how those green campuses, those living laboratories are being created. What happens? Multiplier effect. Students learning from here are going out of college 3 years from now. You are there for 10 more years, 20 more years. Imagine the kind of positive changes that will be bringing around via these students. These students seek jobs. We are the youngest nation across the globe after Africa. We need to provide jobs to these students. Nothing better than green jobs. Areas and stuff that Dr. Charu said, how sustainability can be inculcated in their day-to-day lives. They are doing it day in, day out at their jobs. Someone who is a data scientist, someone who is a computer scientist, if he is able to understand the data efficiency better, the data centers energy efficiency better, we have solved the problem. And that's how the world is going to be a better place in times to come. I'm happy to share to all the students, please introspect, and please try to see what all good has been done at Chitkara. Very soon we'll be visiting your campus, and with partners like Earth Day, with partners like Chitkara University, with works done by Hitesh sir, I'm pretty sure we are in good hands as far as our future is concerned.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. I'm sure the way we are collaborating and moving forward, and for the last 1.5 years that we've been working together, bringing about a positive change, educating and spreading awareness about protection of our Mother Earth, we surely will be able to and hoping to be able to do our bit and educating all our young, generation. And so, do you also have some summer programs or, for school students specifically, if I may ask you, so that when they're having these summer breaks, so any summer programs for school students that you might be doing, and also for college students, or anything that you have for a short course where you just give them exposure, and also about the green jobs that we talk about.
Yeah, so every year we are conducting this very program of green jobs, how students transiting from school going to college make an informed decision. What is good for me? What's good for my future careers? What happens is, मुझे थोड़ा बहुत तो पता है, परंतु वो पूरा दिशा नहीं है कि what renewable energy carriers are all about. How is wind energy going to change things for myself? So those are the areas we discuss with experts, and that's how we bring in solutions for the students. At the college level, they are looking for higher grade of solutions. I know bit about it, but how to dive deep on the subject. So someone is interested in vehicles, how to move towards battery efficiency, how to move towards the e-vehicle efficiency kind of portfolio.
Yes.
That's where we bring in the network and experts, which these students can join in. And at the same time, Youth for Earth, a South Asia-based competition is currently going on, where we request you, all the participants present out here, whether from the school fraternity, whether from the college fraternity, good prize money made available for you to experiment, to take your projects forward, coming on falling in the domain of climate change. So you can break it down in say water management, waste management, any kind of a thing. And we are there to mentor you via expert, via sectoral guides available to you in times to come. I'll share the details link in the chat here.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. I think it's very important in many jobs, especially when electric vehicles are coming up. So it's very important to give them that exposure, sir. All right, moving on. Next, I have would like to ask Dr. Charu. We came to know that there are many strategies being planned and started by Chitkara University that directly or indirectly invest in our planet, and parallelly is also broadening the horizon of every student, irrespective of the stream. So, ma'am, could you please enlighten all of us about this, sir?
Okay. Yes, that needs to be there. What Chitkara is doing and why Chitkara is with the platinum certification from the Climate Reality Project people, why those things are there. Yes, if I talk about university strives to go in for developing various kinds of conservation, various kinds of steps they had taken along, various strategies we had already planned in and already are working onto it, already have completed with that. If we talk about waste management, yes, that is there. If we talk about water management, yes, that is also there. Energy management, green campus, yes, that is also there. How we are converting the waste into so many things, that is wherein the 3R approach is coming up. Yes, of course, that is also there. Any kind of we talk about, we are coming up with so many things. Yes, one by one, I'll educate you. Educating the importance of water conservation, that is very, very important, which is being required, which is, judicious water consumption is being required. See, if I talk about the consumption in the whole university campus, university needs nearly about 20 lakhs of liters of water every day, or maybe more than that also during this very summer season. Part of it is met by the water we taken is by the monsoon and largely by pumping out of the water. We all know that. This is how we are working onto that. And all this has led to the need for now the water conservation, because so many people, we do require the daily use of the water. And we also know that toxicity level in the water, the groundwater is also going higher and higher. We all know the sources and all that. So if, as I was saying, that university requires about so much of the residents, say about 10 lakh students, along with other people, those who are living in the campus, that is one number, and people daily coming up into the campus, those who are the localites or those who are the employers, those who are coming. So in all, we require almost about so much quantity of the water on daily basis, and considering all these demands, their consumption is going on onto the higher level, that is around almost 5 lakh liters of the water that is being required, and produces, university is taking care of this also. And university, it produces, we know that a lot of gray water and wastewater is also coming out from various sources every day. So considering it a water social responsibility to check the declining water table, we have the rainwater harvesting system in it. We have got the STPs installed. There are 3 STPs over there where the water is getting recycled, the grey water, and is being utilized inside for the green campus area. And we are doing both, not I would say the both, but the ground rainwater harvesting system that is being taken care of. If I talk about, as I said, we need to go in for maintain the depletion of the water table level also. For that, we have certain pathways. The green pathways are also there. Certain cemented roads are also there. The footpaths are paved with locking tiles and the pavement blocks. What exactly they do, why we are with this very thing, in our pursuit to lead in these very area, we have further changed this policy of the footpaths. We'll have a boundary. They are having a boundary made up of the curb and the backfilled with the filler material in the form of well-graded aggregates ranging from 1 mm size to 5 mm, which absorb the water easily. So water gets drained off into that, and the depletion of water table is being balanced. It has series of advantages over this conventional footpath in terms of, I would say, the increased infiltration, water holding capacity, and less impact onto the knees that is also being counted. If I talk about energy management, yes, of course, the entire campus is installed with the LED campus, and that is what people are also doing it. But why I am highlighting is, as is being asked, keeping in mind the Earth Day, how we are investing into the Earth. So LED tube reduces the energy consumption. The air conditioner installed, they are having high energy, having energy stars with the power savings. The refrigerator, most of the equipment in the laboratories, we keep that in mind, that all the ratings are with less energy consumption. We have got a very stratified Ecolution student club, which brings about awareness among the students on certain specific days, like what we are doing at present is the Earth Day, and certain other days which keep on coming. Madam Neelam has mentioned about certain projects. Yes, we are very much excited to look out for that, looking forward to those very things. Mr. Bhavesh has also mentioned that certain things needs to be taken care of on a joint effort. Regarding, I'd let you know, renewable energy resources, you have mentioned one thing. We have already come up in our campus only, we are going in for energy management. One thing I've told you about how the LED bulbs are being there. What we have done is we have gone in for the alternative use of energy, which is being there is the biogas generation. The conventional mode of biogas plants, we all know, is totally cow dung material is being there. But over here, this is being mentored by me. Over here, we have come up rather, a lot of food waste is being generated inside the mess. From that very food waste, the things have been taken, the huge biogas plant, what you can say is the anaerobic digestion system that is being there. Above the ground, the plant has been installed inside the nursery area, where the nursery workers, they can take care of for their cooking and all. On a daily basis, whatever the food waste is coming, depending upon the input material, we can have the output material. Maybe for 1 hour, maybe for more than a little more hours, the gas generation is being there, which needs to be utilized in that very immediately manner. This is there in the methodology which has been adopted is the floating drum technology has been adopted. So these are certain strategies which are being there. We have come up with the smokeless chilla also, that is from the agro waste, and with the paper waste, a lot of paper waste in the official campuses, in the official you can say the scenario, we can convert that very paper into the into the reuse system. We have got a very strategic, very stratified paper recycling plant also. And these very paper is being put up into to make the fuel also with the smokeless chullas. So many strategies, so many things have already been taken care of. We had gone in for, since the past 2 years, we are focusing on to the SDG goals to achieve all the SDG goals if we can. But we have achieved zero discharge campus, which means there is no runoff stormwater. Stormwater we does not have, but runoff wastewater is being there. And we have started with the campaign in the university zone. It's already being mentioned. I was very much amazed to listen from Madam Neelam that they had gone in for so much of the plantation work. I think the whole India across. Such kind of things, such kind of people, we always love to hear from these things. And improving infiltration that I've already mentioned by using permeable surfaces for payment. That is saving, that is going in for water conservation a lot and a lot. So besides studies, so many activities have been taken care of to make each and every person in the campus. हम students को तो पढ़ाते ही पढ़ाते हैं, students पढ़ने भी चाहिए, but why not other people also? Why not the educated youth must also know that why we need to understand environment, why we need to understand sustainability. अगर environment नहीं रहेगा तो हम लोग भी नहीं होंगे, हमारा survival भी difficult है. That is what my take of the day is. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, and congratulations. You're doing some amazing job at Chitkara University. I have been part of the university. I am totally proud of it, and I can vouch for it that whatever you mentioned is actually happening. So congratulations to Chitkara University and to all of us also, because we have been joint hand holding with the Climate Ready Project India and South Asia, as well as Association APS WTP. So we jointly work together for a good purpose and bring about a positive change. So my next question goes to Mr. Hitesh Gulati. Before we we open the question answer round for the audience. And also before I ask this question, I would like for everybody's attention, there is a e-feedback link form has been shared by Ms. Deepika as well as Mr. Bhavesh Swami in the chat box. I request everyone to please fill in the e-feedback form because your feedback is important to us. So I request, in the meantime, when we're discussing our next question and open the platform for the audience, I would request everyone to side by side also fill in the e-feedback form. It'll just take a minute of yours. Thank you. Mr. Gulati, I would like to ask you, so how would you inculcate the green performance management in the performance management matrix?
So thank you so much, Dr. Vani. And again, a question which is dear to my heart, because whenever I start working on HR policies also, it's about the competency matrix first that we work on. Okay. And whenever we design any competency or skill set matrix, it's basically divided into 3 parts. So first is your behavioral skills, second is your functional skills, and third is your cultural fitment skills. So when we talk about green, inculcate those initiatives into cultural fitment skills. It more, not keeping in mind the time constraint, to elaborate it more in terms of the designations that we have in any organization, like people who are individual contributors. When we divide this functional skills, behavioral skills, and cultural fitment, we give a percentage weightage to each of these things. So like 75% is given to the functional skills, 15% is given to the behavioral skills, and rest 10% is given to cultural fitment skills when we talk about individual contributors. In terms of managers and leaders, it is 60% weightage is given to the functional skills, whereas 15% is given to behavioral skills, and you can say greater percentage is given to the culture. Managers and leaders, they build the culture in the organization. So when we talk about green initiatives also, once we'll introduce these initiatives into cultural fitment skills of any organization, first the leaders has to take those initiatives so that it should cascade it down. Absolutely. To other levels in the organization. Once they take the lead, others will also take it and they'll execute those particular programs. Yeah. So with this, I'll end up here, because let's not go beyond time. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Now, I hope that everybody is also filling in the e-feedback form. And now we open the stage for the audience to please ask any questions if you have to our eminent panel members.
Yeah, if they are not able to chat, they can just raise their hands and we can allow them to talk
Yes.
briefly.
You may also raise your hand and sir will unmute you. We'll unmute you and you can ask your question. Or also, maybe you also have another option of typing, texting your question over the chat box. But we would love to hear from you. We'd love to see you. I request everyone to please switch on their cameras and interact with each other at such an important occasion of World Earth Day today. And I request the panel members also, if you would like to share any other things with our audience which you feel is important, which the participants must know. I request it's an open forum for all of you to participate one by one if you want to. In the meanwhile, I will request all the participants to please put in your question in the chat box or raise your hand and please unmute and ask your questions. And also, I would like to tell everybody that we also, after this session, we would also be emailing you the e-certificate for your participation on your registered email ID. And also, please, once again, I request you to take a minute to fill in the e-feedback form. Neela ma'am, Bhavesh sir, Hitesh sir, and Charu ma'am, if you would like to add on to something. I request Deepika ma'am to please share the link once again. There are people writing in the chat box. Yes, thank you very much.
Yeah, maybe we can go in for concluding remarks in case people.
All right, so thank you all for joining in, especially to all the participants and to our esteemed panel members for today's panel discussion. Ms. Neela, Mr. Bhavesh Swami, Mr. Hitesh Gulati, as well as Dr. Charu, who shared their knowledge and wisdom in the virtual program on Invest in Our Planet, Protect Our Future while commemorating the World Earth Day 2023. I hope you all agree with me that it was a privilege to listen to, at the same time, learn from this amazing panel. Let's make a promise to ourselves to be mindful of every action of ours to protect our Mother Earth and to spread awareness, as well as take necessary steps to conserve the environment and contribute positively towards climate change. A heartfelt gratitude to all our chief mentors and guiders who have guided us and to make this day an applause to all of you for joining us and showing your keen interest in this event, which would not have been possible without you all. Thank you so much, and let's make a promise to ourselves and to each other that we will bring in a positive change to our Mother Earth. Remember, invest in our planet, protect our future is like investing in our own selves. Thank you very much for everybody to joining in, and thank you once again to the esteemed panel members. Thank you very much.
Dr. Wani, before you all depart, let's take a group photograph if you allow.
Happily, sir. Why not? I request everyone to please switch on their videos and let's have a big smile on our face. And let's take a group picture.
And then at the same time, let this be a beginning also. See the kind of positivity all people are bringing, the kind of expertise everyone is bringing. Yes. So I feel Earth Day probably should network more with you people. Hitesh sir, you give more insights to us. So that's how this coexisting and coherence grows in. We all are here to learn from each other. And as Vani ma'am rightly said, to make a better world, how baby steps can be taken forward. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Neela ma'am, Bhavesh sir, Hitesh sir, Dr. Charu, and our lovely audience. Thank you very much. And have a lovely day ahead. Thank you.
Okay, Bhavesh sir, Dr. Charu, Ms. Neela.
Yeah, thank you so so
Dr.
much.
Parul. Thank you so much.
Thank
Dr.
you all.
Smita, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So not only virtually, but we need to connect in a physical mode too.
Yes, of course. And I would like to invite everyone to please visit Chitkara University. And we'd like to, know each other better, and let's educate and see the work that we all are doing. Let's learn and share from each other to make to make our world a better place to live. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. Over and out, I think.
All right, sir. Thank you very much.